Christian Pulisic has the world at his extraordinarily talented feet and is tipped to have a bright future in the game. So why then is he linked with a move away from Borussia Dortmund? And with a £70 million price tag on his head, he's already been linked to some of Europe's biggest clubs. Today, I'll be looking at what he would bring to his new club and which of the three teams most heavily linked with him, Chelsea, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, has the best chance of getting his signature in the summer. First up, let's talk about Chelsea. Rumours linking the US international with a move to Stamford Bridge have reached fever pitch in recent weeks. It seems every time Jadon Sancho scores a goal for Dortmund, headlines about Pulisic moving to West London appear in the press. Now, a lot of this talk has to do with Eden Hazard. In recent months, talk has stirred up again of a big money move to Real Madrid. And if this does happen, Maurizio Sarri is going to need a long-term replacement for the Belgium captain. And that is not going to be easy to find. Since joining from Lille in 2012, Hazard has won 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, and has developed into one of the world's best wingers. Positionally speaking, Pulisic would be the ideal replacement for Hazard, a left winger who likes to cut inside on his right foot and has an eye for goal and bags of pace. And at just 20 years old, Pulisic has years ahead of him to grow into the role. Chelsea already have a fantastic goalkeeper, brilliant defenders and a great midfield, and they're just lacking slightly in the forward positions. Christian Pulisic would be a great start, particularly if Hazard leaves. If Chelsea could just get an upgrade on Morata and Giroud, they would be challenging for some of Europe's top prizes, which is exactly what Pulisic wants from his next club. If Hazard does stay at the club, then a move does appear unlikely, but you never say never in football, and Pulisic could still join and take the right wing position instead of Pedro or Willian, one of which is likely to be sold in the summer. Let's talk candidate number 2, Real Madrid. The reigning Champions League winners are in a similar boat to Chelsea in that a lot hinges on what Eden Hazard decides to do next summer. If Hazard does decide to pitch up in the Spanish capital, then a move for Pulisic seems unlikely. If they don't get their number one target, however, Pulisic could be the ideal backup option. If Pulisic does go to Madrid, he'd most likely take up the left wing position, with Gareth Bale moved to the right and Karim Benzema remaining the focal point of attack. This would mean Madrid would now be playing with 2 fast, skillful wingers who both like to cut inside from their respective flanks. Pulisic and Bale could also regularly switch flanks during games, making it very difficult for opponents to prepare defensively. In the past, Pulisic has also been deployed as a number 10, playing just off a striker at Borussia Dortmund, and he could reprise this role at Real Madrid as the focal point of a midfield diamond behind Benzema and Bale. This scenario sounds even more likely if rumours linking Isco with a move away from the Bernabeu are to be believed. And with Vinicius Jr. and Marco Asensio already in the squad, adding Pulisic could make Real Madrid an even bigger force in the decade to come. Now, it wouldn't be a Borussia Dortmund fire sale unless their number one customers, Bayern Munich, were involved. The club are always first in the queue whenever a Dortmund player is put up for sale, nears the end of his contract, or just happens to sneeze in the general vicinity of a football pitch. Whereas in the past, Bayern have poached the best young talents from around the Bundesliga simply because they could, this time there is a genuine need for an injection of youth. Club legends Arjen Robben and Frank Ribéry are set to leave the club at the end of the season, and with a combined age of 69, it's a long overdue decision. In one fell swoop, Bayern are set to lose both of the wingers, which made them such a force domestically and in Europe for the best part of a decade, and replacements are needed. One of the most attractive things about a deal for Pulisic, beside the fact that it would weaken a direct rival, is that he's already got proven Bundesliga experience. There would be no need for settling in time or adapting to new surroundings. Pulisic could and probably would hit the ground running immediately for the record Bundesliga champions. Pulisic isn't even allowed to buy a beer in his native country, but he's closing in on 100 Bundesliga appearances, and his tallies for both goals and assists are well into double figures. Bayern bosses Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge have said a spending spree is long overdue, and they're bound to be in for one of the hottest young players in the Bundesliga. Now, the price most commonly touted for Christian Pulisic is £70 million, which wouldn't be beyond Bayern's spending power. However, handing such a massive war chest to their direct rivals, Borussia Dortmund, does seem a gamble, especially given the club look hot on the tail of their first Bundesliga title since 2012. Tactically speaking, Pulisic could of course slot into either of the flanks vacated by Franck Ribéry and Arjen Robben. The other could be occupied by one of Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman, or the mysterious talent of Alphonso Davies. The three all seem capable footballers, but they are raw and none of them boast the star quality of Christian Pulisic. The little American star could be exactly what the aging German giants need to kickstart their revolution. So there we have it. The three teams most heavily linked with USA captain and Borussia Dortmund winger Christian Pulisic. On paper at least, a move to Bayern Munich appears to suit all parties, with Pulisic needing game time, Bayern needing star quality, while Dortmund would pocket north of £70 million for a player who's simply warming their bench. That being said, I've got a feeling Chelsea might pip them to the post, especially if Eden Hazard gets his dream move to Real Madrid. With the backing of Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, it's unlikely Chelsea would come second best if it came to a bidding war. And should they lose Eden Hazard to Real Madrid, they'll want to make sure the loss is dealt with in a swifter fashion as possible. So there we have it. Is Chelsea Pulisic's most likely destination, or will Bayern be able to lure him from their direct rivals? Perhaps Real Madrid will come calling and he won't be able to say no, or they could be somewhere else completely. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Where will Pulisic end up? Yeah, that'll do, innit?